Year last
part of
week,
the-
it's like kind of been moving my figures about $500. Yeah, why not? But very like to the penny. Yeah. $503.82. Yes, you got a price. GM fuel.
I've always wanted to use that. Hey. Just checking. All right, I call the orders, the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency meeting on May 18th, 2026 at 4 p.m. May I get a roll call, please, Ally?
Cam Bruno,
Here. Here.
Rogers. Here. Kevin Mahoney,
Here.
Carly Tall,
Here.
Melissa Fitch,
Here.
Mark Yearshaw,
Here.
Juan Gonzalez.
Here.
We have a quorum, we have 9 out of 10.
Great, thank you so much. In your meeting packet on page 2 is the April 20th IDA board meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Move.
Charlie, second. Brian? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, we'll turn it over to Chuck for 196 Ridge Street LLC project consideration for resolution approval.
Okay, so good afternoon. With us, we have Dan and Adam Snyder, the applicant for the application we're about to hear, and their attorney, John Lambert. We also have Ben Palmer from Mabella. He'll be here with some questions on our water project later on. So with that, I'd like to start with Dan and Adam or John to explain the project, and then I'll go through the incentives.
Sure. So, they purchased the property on Ridge Street and we got approved Glens Falls for a total of 12 units, which is something that Glens Falls needs for 6 of them are 3-bedroom units. 4 of them are 2-bedroom units for families. For the school district, we had a letter from the principal Jackson Heights that they would need for kids and capacity for kids in the school. So it's an infill project with a kind of a dilapidated old house that needs to be renovated. Could have had up to 19 units, but we did, which was supposed to be 12 units in total on the site to bring that up. Arrow is going to finance it for them and they're ready to get started. So once we go through the idea, we'll move for close.
Okay, it's a $3.4 million project. And Adam and Dan, one of you want to just explain real quick the scoping of the project?
Yeah, so the first part of it is the renovation of that existing building, which is being demoed to the studs, basically brought up brand new from the inside. That's gonna be two bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms. And then from there, we'll do an addition, which will be 2 brand new 2-bedroom units. And then in the back corner of the lot will be 6 3-bedroom townhouses. And then further back from that will be a parking lot for the 4-plex and the 6-plex. So each unit will have a garage, 2 parking spaces.
Okay, thank you. So before I read off the incentive, I'll mention that we had the public hearing today at 12 at Kara's office. It's a good meeting. Nobody showed up to say anything though, so it was kind of lonely, but it was a good meeting. Okay, so let me go through the 3 proposed investment incentives for approval today. First is property tax incentive form of pilot. Project qualifies for a pilot within WWIDA's uniform tax exempt policy. Pilot payments will be in term of 10 years with 50% exemption of real property taxes on the value improvements. Year 1, 5% annual increase for years 2 through 10 after construction is completed. The pilot may occur in 2 phases because of the 2 different projects: renovation of the building and the new building. This totals an estimated $573,000 rounding in payments over 10 years versus an estimated $790,000 rounding without the investment incentive. The estimated property tax benefit is $217,382. The second benefit is state and county sales tax abatement totaling 7% based on $1,711,000 rounding and purchases subject to sales tax. The estimated benefit is $119,781. Third benefit is mortgage tax abatement of 1% from an estimated mortgage loan of $2 million. The estimated mortgage tax benefit is $20,000. The proposed total gross investment incentive is an estimated $357,162 for fees. The IDA administrative fee is $30,708 for servicing incentives, including the 10-year pilot. The estimated legal fee is $15,000. The estimated total net investment incentive is $311,454. The net incentives are 9.1% of the total project cost. The applicant explained that without financial assistance, the project could not be completed as proposed, that the 6-unit townhouse component is particularly important because larger family-oriented housing units are difficult to find in the local market. The applicant states WWIDA assistance is necessary to complete the full project as intended. And it's still a valid statement, right? Okay. I'll go through the community benefits. I'm not going to reread the housing study from Warren County, so I'm just going to hit it real quick. There are 4 community and economic benefits. First, create 12 new housing units to support the community's growing demand for housing, especially for employees of local businesses in response to the regional housing challenge. Number 2, generate an estimated 30 construction jobs valued at over $1.4 million. Third, generate construction material sales estimated at $1.7 million, with 95% sourced from within Warren and Washington counties and 100% sourced within New York State. And then fourth, finally, complements many elements in the Glens Falls 2026 draft comprehensive plan. And that's my report. Happy to open for questions.
Any questions from the board? How did this application come to the WWIDA, Jeff?
Mr. Jeff Flagg from Glens Falls Economic Development referred them to us because, as you know, Glens Falls IDA cannot do 100% housing projects. They can only do mixed use.
And when do we expect these to be open? You know, up and operating?
The 4-plex will hopefully be late this fall. The duplex should be spring the summer of next year, and then the 6-plex probably late fall to early spring of next year, or late fall of next year.
because we had mentioned the grant at the public hearing, I want to also mention it here as well, that on page 6 of the incentive document, you can see that the $200,000 grant from the Lower Adirondack Regional Development Initiative administered through the New York State Vacant Rental Program is part of our calculation and is mentioned on there. I just want to make sure we have that for the record as well. Was this I was Mr. Flagg from Glens Falls, and you ran that through the
Yeah,
The
he
leadership-
leadership with the mayor, and the mayor has no issue with the project.
anything else from the board?
General question on the pilots, in a situation like this, do they basically help the lower rent to begin with? And that's where you're gonna put the savings into the rent. It's making it more affordable than it would be otherwise now, just easier and better return on investment for you guys.
Great. Anybody else? All right. Let me get my paperwork in order here and let me finish through this before you start raising your hands. With no further questions, I will entertain a motion to accept the resolution taking action towards undertaking a certain project as defined herein, appointing 196 Ridge Street GF LLC, the company, as agent of the agency for the purpose of constructing and equipping the project facility as defined herein, and authorizing the execution and delivery of a project agreement and lease agreement and related documents by and between the agency and the company. John, second. Kevin. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
John Taplin,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers,
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes,
Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Abstain.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Gentlemen, congratulations.
Thanks, everybody, very much.
You can stay if you want, but bore you with them.
It's my daughter's fourth boring.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations. Appreciate it. Thank you. See you. Take care.
For the record, also, Ally was, while she was reading the public script or the public hearing, noticed there was a church, bells in the background, so it was a good omen for the
It's
project.
about noon time. The church bells are ringing. It's great background noise.
All right,
as
cool.
long as there wasn't a coffin.
We try not to look out the window. All right, moving on. Page 16 of your read ahead package is the financials. Our treasurer could not be with us today, but he left us some great notes, so I will go over that. Let's start with the accounts payables. As you can see on the right side there, we have what's reimbursable as compared to the total amount right next to it. So that makes it a little bit easier for you to do the math on what's needs to get paid out and what will be eventually coming back into the IDA. With that, I'll open it up for any questions. No questions currently. All right, I will entertain a motion to accept accounts payable. Mark, second. John. Any discussion?
I
right.
would-
Go ahead.
I would like to note that since I sent the meeting packet out and today, I have received 2 additional payables that I would like to include in the list that you guys have. One of them is for FMBF for $2,798.50. And also ARCC for the Q3 of the employee vision insurance. And both of those total more than that, but the total of all the payables with those 2 is $44,674.48. However, $14,444.24 is reimbursable.
Great, thank you, Ally. With that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the accounts payable with the 2 amendments. Tricia, second. Charlie. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
John Taplin,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes,
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great, thank you. All right, moving on to the year-to-date financials reports. Start with the balance sheet. You can see is a comparison to last year-to-date with the percentage change. Obviously, the entries by our auditor is why the balance sheet looks different, but cash-wise, as you can see, just a little bit less cash. Since 30 April, we have received the 155,000 exit 19 application fee, as well as the 113,000 reimbursement from HUD. So you'll see a change back into the positive of our cash flow after next month's board meeting. With no questions, moving on to profit and loss statement on page 19. You can see that individually by itself. And then on page 21 is as compared to January to April of 2025. That one again is a little bit different. We did have the big application at the beginning of last year. This one, our big application this year's will be shown next year, so it should be a bit more balanced when you look at January to May next year or next month's board meeting. With that, entertain a motion to accept the year-to-date financial reports. Brian, second. Mark, any discussion? All right, here now, roll call, please, Alex.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Pam Bruno,
Yes.
Matt Kaplan,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yearshaw. Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you so much. All right, moving on to reports of committees. Park chair update, please.
Okay, thank you. Start off with the airport industrial park because there's nothing new to report there. With that,
Makes that easy.
But status quo, I don't know if Chuck, you.
No, I don't think I have anything to.
Thank you. With regard to the canal side, the SMS rail continues to unload grain cars there. They've gotten a few more than they had last time I reported. And our electric, our other tenant there is just cranking away. With respect to the alternate access, the south access road revisions, modifications. I have some photos here, which Bob Holmes forwarded to me. I had intended to get out there today myself, but didn't have time. So if anybody wants to look at these, just let me know. But anyway, approximately, they're making good progress there. Contractor. And they're about 60 to 70% of the fill material is in. The guardrails have been removed. The north end has been excavated to subgrade. Silt fence is in and that looks okay. So moving along, and they should be on schedule to complete as originally intended. Additionally, we'll have further input from Labella and Mr. Bart with regard to the water service and the sanitary sewer, but I won't get into that. I'll let the gentleman from Labella expand on that. Other than that, I don't have anything to add. Anybody have any questions?
I have one, it's just a physical one.
Sure.
I think it's the training track that gets close to the buildings. I saw some rail carts on that. Are they just using that now that Kiewit's gone,
The
or
one close to the building?
the one that goes into the property a little bit more than the other ones?
Next to the rail trailer or the SMS
Yeah,
trailer?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one they
just have more
use.
cars.
okay, that's where they used to,
They stage the cars there and then they pull them up one at a time and load them.
it just stuck out a little bit more now that Kiewit is gone.
Yeah.
When I had swung in there.
Right.
Got
A
it,
little more visible.
right.
Yeah, it's the only thing going on site.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Other than the kids out there doing wheelies or whatever they were doing this weekend.
Probably mentioned that too.
You probably should.
You want me to?
Go ahead. You talk to the,
Okay,
John Barnes.
so, this, so it was Sunday morning, I received a text from John Davidson WCC and DA Collins. They had an employee, a guy doing work with beavers eradication on Saturday evening, saw about 20 cars come in, kids on our site hanging out. Apparently the deputy called me the next day. So apparently these kids are also roaming around Warren County and including the village of Lake George. They immediately left when the deputies came. Later, the deputies found them at a Cumberland Farms and ticketed a bunch of them for some vehicle violations. So they know who these people are. Hopefully they won't come back. And I alerted our tenants and they checked today to make sure everything was okay. And I have not heard anything back from them. So yeah, we had some unexpected guests on Saturday evening, early evening.
If you watch the news lately, national news, this is common affliction, so to speak. Young people gathering either bicycles or cars in large numbers, taking over areas and that sort of thing. So it's, at this point in time, it's not uncommon.
It's the only thing they can afford.
That the gate was locked on the weekends for
No.
197.
No, it's not.
It's not.
We have an issue. So the southern gate off of East Street is
Yeah.
closable. The one at the northern end is a sliding gate. It only doesn't completely go all the way across. It leaves about 5 feet open. It would stop a car, but it's also very sticky. So Mr. Bruno and I talked about, do we get a fence person in there to look at what's going on and possibly repair it? So that we'll continue to
I don't know
evaluate.
if it's worth the effort at this point, but I will say, I think our electric closed that thing part way. They should leave that open because there are other people that need to get in and out of there.
Well, that's how Bob Holmes today.
Right.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I already talked with Steve and I forewarned him that gate's a little sticky. Steve from Howard Electric.
sticky, but it's only open about 6 feet. That's my point.
Right.
Need to tell Steve to open it back up.
Yeah. We're gonna reopen it in the morning.
How about the beaver situation? Did he trap any beavers?
Any hats?
I'm not sure. They have more of a beaver problem than we do.
I don't think this will be the last time we hear this because if the kids are looking for the easiest target, an industrial
Well,
site with nothing on it is gonna be the easiest.
Yeah, the
of
deputy
everything around it.
explained to me that they're doing everything possible to make it clear to these kids that they're not welcome to the area. We'll see how successful they are.
Well,
But
what you do is you leave it open. Once they're in there, then you close it.
Effective, yeah.
You will know who was there.
So we will continue to monitor the situation. It's like the camping last year, the camping moved away. We'll see if this goes away. If it doesn't go away, then we'll escalate our actions.
They are tomorrow's employees, so too, remember.
All right.
All right, should I continue?
Please do, please do.
Okay, speaking of the water project, we have two important milestones to discuss today. The first is the board approval of the water project development agreement with the village of Fort Edward. It recognizes new water district in the town of Fort Edward, Novella's map plan report, the village's full service better response, and WWIDA obligations to complete construction in proper fashion. This is accumulation of roughly 2 years engineering, legal work, and coordination with regulatory authorities and municipalities. I know Mr. Tall had some questions today about the project development group. We have, of course, Novella here too. So with that, do we want to go to questions and comments about the project development agreement?
Sure. Absolutely.
Well, I think you answered all of mine. So unless somebody else wants to elaborate on them further.
I think if you wanna go elaborate on them, Chuck, that way we have it for the records.
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
Sure. So first question is, how the phase structure is expected to work over time, particularly as the project transitions from current East Street work into the later railroad component. My response, the project was divided into 2 phases because East Street water pipe replacement is ready to go, and the railroad work requires groundwater testing, physical inspection when the street pipe is replaced, and the Canadian Pacific Kansas Railroad work permit process and approval. The IDA is committed for both phases. If the physical inspection reveals pipe on the railroad is in satisfactory condition, we will discuss it with the village. Number 2, how water service and future site activity may be affected while the project remains in phase structure. The response is a prospective buyer needs only 1,500 gallons per day, plus occasional 300 gallons per minute for fire water tank filling. Large pipe on the railroad can't handle the minor incremental load per Lubella.
Can they actually flow 300 gallons a minute for a period of time?
It's an 8-inch pipe.
Okay. With pressure, with good pressure.
It's coming off of Wing Street. Feel free to jump in, Ben. It's coming off of Wing Street where Wing Street pipe has been refurbished. So we're looking to connect into that refurbished line. So there's a good water source right there.
Right.
Could have said it better myself.
Okay.
You're just winging it.
Okay, moving on to the third question. Long-term ownership, maintenance, and replacement responsibility once the infrastructure is ultimately accepted and dedicated. The response to the village water district will own, operate, and maintain the street system.
And we're making sure that they're not going to reject it for a technicality and make us do, we're doing it.
No, that's why we did the project development agreement. They've been involved in design phase. They approved the design, the water district forms, so everything.
So pre-approved as long as we check all the boxes.
Correct. Yeah, now yes, to your point, if we don't deliver the project properly, they might say, whoa, don't transfer the asset until you meet your obligations with the design project. How the current water demand assumptions were developed, and how flexible the system is expected to be if future industrial users differ from current projections. Response, the connection from Canal Side to East Street will be governed by the valve. The village water district has excess capacity per the MAP plan report. In 2023, the village reported average daily demand is 343,000 gallons per day, and maximum daily demand of 450,000 gallons per day, rounding, leaving significant capacity.
Would I have been able to find these so I didn't have to ask the questions in earlier?
Well, yes, it was in the MAP plan report that was for board approval. That's actually where I went to get this.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many documents over the past year. So that's my job to keep track of. Next, how the proposed town water district village service agreement and IDA infrastructure responsibilities fit together with larger project structure. The village has responsibility for the East Street line. The WWIDA or new canal site owner will have responsibility for the water distribution system in the industrial site, which by the way is already in place. A portion in the village, a portion in town. And then the final question, and how future change orders, overruns, delayed phases, or additional infrastructure requirements will be handled within the current framework. The response will likely be IDA responsibility. And those are the questions and responses.
Thank you.
Those are good questions. I just want to, this is a lot of boilerplate stuff that I see from the town coming our way, and the same thing with the, you got most everything that's been reviewed by Lobellis.
Well, Lubella and our attorneys, both our attorney and Matt Fuller representing the village and the water district.
So to protect us as a board, because we have our own specialties, but we're all not going to be specials in water and sewer.
Correct.
So, you know, some people who are more talented than the rest of us. So we, not having seen all this, we are expecting Lobella to back us up. And Juan, you're very familiar with all this. Obviously, you go over it.
Correct. And like the map plan report was given for board approval. So you
No,
have seen,
understood.
but we said, hey, everything, Jared's looked at it, legal support that. But yes.
Yeah, each little bit is simple, and I would like you to say the truth. Insurance coming up with boom, 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 boom. Pretty standard for me. That's what we have in our business. So I assume it's just same thing. We're covered that way too.
Yeah, so when Lobella originally circulated the documents, you know, I reviewed the contract portions of it, coordinated with Matt on that, got back to them on the, just like you're saying, like, I'm not commenting on the methodology of the construction.
Correct.
But yeah, it's been reviewed and vetted back and forth several times.
And that all goes through you, obviously. But do you ever highlight points, you know, that you think are of concern that you might want to bring to the board?
Well, if they're concerned, we fix them before they come. to
Okay,
the board.
good. Well, that's what I'm trying to say, it's in front of everybody. Yeah.
so that we all understand that this has been through it and through it and through it a couple of times. These are great questions. But the way that the questions were answered and set up, I wanted to make sure that we all felt comfortable with all, in going forward. I don't want to question the insurances, you know?
Yeah, and also just be aware, Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Bruno, and I, and Kara meet with Labella bi-weekly.
Yeah.
And the attorneys are there too, town officials are there. So it's a very cross-functional team. So every 2 weeks, we're together talking about issues, and if there's an issue to come overcome, we work it out.
Correct.
If there are from time to time items that we feel the board should be aware of, we'll bring them.
Yeah,
Right, like breaks that
Exceptions.
project into 2 phases. The last meeting we report is 2 phases because of technical reasons. So yeah, we'll bring the major issues to your attention.
great. All I got.
Brian,
Yeah, to add to that, like, it's because the board's always changing too. There's always new people coming on, people going off. So sometimes you have to summarize what we've done in the past. So like in this situation, we looked at buying the land that some of this pipe was on, right?
Well, that's for the sewer.
That's for the sewer.
All water too. 'Cause
And we're still working on that.
Correct.
It's so, that's what I was trying to figure out in the whole thing, where, so on our land, we're gonna own everything that's on our property. And we don't own anything that's not on our property. We have the right to use it. It's a different,
So you're referring to the WCC lot that where the water line currently runs from our industrial. park
Yes.
To East Street. There is no agreement for that pipe to be in place. Because WCC used to own all the land, and then when it was transferred for Florida Economic Development, nobody went back to do an easement. So there is no easement for that pipe right now. But we have approached them on doing the easement, and they came back and said, we'd like to sell you the property. We're waiting for a value. But then we've also learned from Labella that is the proposed route of the sewer line. So now buying that land becomes even more imperative.
Okay. and that's why I wanted to tie them all together
It's a
because
big land that now National Grid wants us to.
that was the third part.
So right now, and WCC, as I reported, was in the process of doing appraisal. I talked to John Davidson on Friday and expressed the urgency of getting a number, and he was going to talk with the owners. So John and I probably talk twice a week, so we're patiently waiting.
So I just wanted to tie them all together because if you do all that, you don't get to buy that or have right of way to it. It's kind of fell dead.
They have said they want to see the prospective buyer, see the site sold and developed, and they're signaling that they're going to sell it to us for a fair price, but we unfortunately at this time don't.
They historically have been notoriously slow to respond. They be WCC.
Well, honest, this discussion's been going on for well over 6 months now, so. Pretty slow.
Yes, there's a few points that could still derail quite a bit of this, and that is one of them. And we're hoping within 30 days, we have an answer to that.
So by next meeting, we'll be acting on that.
Assuming,
We were told the appraisal will be completed in May.
yes. So when that happens, then yes, we should have something for the board.
We'll
I just want to make sure we're not putting the cart ahead of the horse doing this if the other doesn't.
Good thing about what's happening here is this is just board approval to release the invitation to bid,
Yeah,
not to award the contract.
right. So we're okay, yeah.
So we're still good.
We're good.
Charlie,
Does the bid invitation, I think it mentioned 1,700 feet approximately, but I think we also mentioned 1,900 feet.
I think, then correct me if I'm wrong, the 1,900 feet is from where we connect on East Street all the way to Wing Street.
Yep, correct.
And so there's a portion between Wing Street to the railroad and then back north of the railroad. And so if you do the math there, that's suggesting it's 200 feet. I actually think it's a little less than 200 feet for approximate purposes. We know it's 1,900, 1,700 could be off a little bit.
So the bid is gonna look as if it's 1,700 feet, but if it turns out to be 1,800, they're gonna complain.
How's that?
So when you do the bid package like that, you build in field change allowances, and we're also bidding this on unit spaces. So if things come in slightly over or slightly under the 1,700 number, then you know the contractor is stuck to that unit price.
Close enough. Are you already a PE?
I am not now.
Oh, okay.
Remember, Liz was here in the past meeting, went on maternity leave. Ben is her
Ah.
replacement right now. And he's been doing a great job.
Any other questions? All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the water main replacement PDA project development agreement. Kevin, second. John. Roll call, please, Ellie.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Caplan.
Yep.
Tricia Rogers.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Carly Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yrsha,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Motion passes. Moving on to the water main replacement
Yeah.
award contract.
So thank you. So let me go on the second milestone is board approval to release the invitation to bid for the replacement of the first phase East Street water line up to the railroad this fall for an estimated $1.8 million. Proposals will be due by June 24th. And we would like to seek board approval to award the contract for everything's in good order at a special board meeting on Wednesday, July 1st. So just as a heads up on the timing, we're looking to make the executive committee meeting a full board meeting, just so we can do the approval of the award. Again, assuming everything's in good order. But right now, we're seeking approval to be able to release the invitation to bid.
Do you want a motion for that?
Please.
Yes.
With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the release of the invitation to bid for the water main replacement. Contract. Charlie, second. Mark. Questions?
Does that mean tentatively July 1st will be a full meeting, executive and regular? Or is that? I put it
Probably
in my
Replace
calendar.
executive.
We're shooting for that, right?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
That's a,
probably a hybrid.
that's a Wednesday, so everybody should still be here.
We know it won't be the 4th of July. That's all we can tell you.
I'll give you Thursday and Friday off.
I was just gonna say, for this July 1st special meeting, I know it's a very busy week with the 4th very close to it. So if you cannot make, please let me know as soon as possible so we can work around it if we, for some reason, we don't have a quorum. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if we don't have a quorum, we'll go to Plan B. We're looking to do that meeting rather than July 15th, if I remember right, the dates, because we just want to be able to award. Yeah, because of quorum, then again, do Plan B.
It'll be the normal time, the 4 o'clock,
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
The executive committee meetings typically 9 o'clock at Kara's office
9
in
a.m.
downtown Glens Falls.
Can it be a Zoom option?
Not
Only
for
if we
voting.
notice it, and such with wherever your location is gonna be.
I said it already.
And you have to allow anybody to attend there with it.
Maybe me and you could.
Yes.
Everybody's welcome to come.
So,
Our
like-
furthest is Florida, so.
But we still have to maintain an in-person forum. So,
Oh, do we? Okay.
so like we can't have more people than a forum. We can't have more than,
So we have to have 6 in the room.
yes,
Wow, I thought you could have 2 locations, summing 6.
no, not anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Charlie and Mark. Roll call for that or no?
Yes, roll call please.
Uh,
And, any further discussion on the, award contract, the documents? All right, with them, roll call please.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
Caplan,
Yes.
Tricia Rogers,
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yrsha,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great, thank you for that. Continuing on with Canal Side, Chuck.
Okay, now moving on to the new sewer connection. First, the Washington County Sewer District responded favorably to the IDA's well-served letter. Special conditions include the rehabilitation of the sewer line from East Street, Alden Avenue, and Notre Dame Street for an estimated $654,000. We, Mr. Bruno, Mr. Gonzalez, and will be meeting with the Washington County Sewer District to discuss the situation of their existing pipe not being in adequate condition. Moving on The second issue is a land agreement. We actually just talked about that with the WCC lot that we need to acquire the existing water line and the sewer line connection and the gas line connection. I will mention that Kara agreement, and we've sent it to WCC with everything except the price. They need access to an existing lot that is now landlocked. And so we've given them proposed language. We have yet to hear back from them to us with the value, the offer price of the land. We'll also look to finalize the agreement and bring it for board approval. That's it on the sewer connection, unless there are any questions. On the East Street entrance road modification, Mr. Bruno will explain what's happening. Do want to mention, I believe we did at the executive committee meeting this month. We had a change order. No, actually, we didn't do this one. I'm sorry. So this is new to the board. We have a work order change. The testing of the canal side fill, you might recall, we have a big pile of fill we offered to be used for this project. Keller and Sons, our road construction company, tested it and determined it was not adequate for road fill. There were too many organics. Thus, they will need to import fill for an additional $17,000. The total project cost will increase from $269,000 to $286,000. And I think for that work order change, we probably need board approval.
They'll have to, Keller will have to submit a formal change order. Bob Holmes, the engineer of record for this, will review that, approve it, and then the board.
Then it comes to us.
So can we approve this additional spending contingent upon the engineer approval?
Sure.
You're just moving a budget number, you're saying? Yeah, just making a budget amendment at this point.
And even with this increase in cost, it should be understood that this total project cost is well below what we had anticipated to begin with. You know, I'm not saying that we want to.
That's important, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the spending with a up to a $25,000 project change.
Okay, thank you.
Is that how we do it?
No, it's okay. The good news is it's 17 because it was the credit they put in their proposal, and we said that's the only thing that they would change, just take the credit away for having fill.
Okay, that's the
We
only
have it
thing.
in writing, so we
Okay.
believe 17 is a firm number.
17 even?
Okay.
I like the 25.
A bigger number.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
All right, with that, entertain a motion to accept the work order change for the back entrance project with up to $25,000 contingent on the engineering approvals. Charlie, second.
I'll second it, but I got a question.
Brian. Questions?
So if they're just taking back the credit for it, we basically just have to swap, or it's remove the credit, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's what we
then-
should be
But
doing.
then the net cost
Yeah.
will go up.
Right, it does the same thing.
Now, do we have an obligation to relocate this stuff? Is it on our site now?
No,
We're gonna be pushing it over?
It is. It's been a while since the site was built.
Okay.
Right,
But we'll-
yeah, it came with the site,
Came with the site, it did.
and we might be able to sell it or do something with it anyway ourselves, we just don't know. We just know we can't do that with it.
Maybe the prospective buyer can deal with the power.
Right. I'm just wondering if we shouldn't just amend it that way, that the credit goes away.
We can.
All right, so with that, I'll entertain an amendment to the
I'm trying to make it the cleanest it could be.
amendment to our current change order that credits the fill back off of the original.
It'll be
price.
explained in the change order.
Yeah.
When Keller submits the change order, that'll be the language, that'll be,
In the language, the total cost and then minus the credit from the initial estimate.
right.
All right.
So
so
do
what's
we
the
need,
motion?
do we need an amendment if we're gonna accept the change order?
Well, I'm wondering if we don't wait
think
till
we
we
need
get
an
the,
amendment.
right,
Yeah, because it'll be explained in the change.
I think we just wait
Accept
till the change order.
This is county math, so for those a little bit trying to figure out, this is county math. All right,
I'd wait for the change order on this one.
Exactly.
I wouldn't,
Okay, so up to 25,000, and we're approved with engineer approval. Is that-
Either that or
I
you
don't
do
know why-
nothing
don't
until the
bother
change
with
order.
up to. I mean, it's gonna be what the change order is.
Yeah,
That's that.
So just wait for the change.
You want us to wait for change order?
it makes the most sense. It's the cleanest.
It's gotta come to the board.
It's the cleanest way to do it.
Do I have to amend or change anything we just did?
Motion
Okay.
fails. Drawn.
The only thing I'll point out is we probably get the invoice for the work between now and the next board meeting, I guess, just.
Yep, and we'll have it approved,
Okay.
absolutely. Board knows what's coming.
And the change order will be there by that time too.
Yeah. Great. Alrighty,
Okay, moving on. I've already talked about national or natural gas supply, so I won't repeat myself there. Finally, there is a canal side assessment. Previously reported that the two-part lots were assessed at 10.3 million. 2025 appraisal values the site as is at 5 million. On March 10th, I submitted the complaint on real property form RP 524 for the village and town lots. The next step is for Kara and I to attend or to attend grievance day for the village and town, whatever, on May 26th. So we will be eagerly attending the grievance day meetings around 4:00 on that day.
Are you actually grieving or just watching?
We're grieving, we'll speak for the panels.
Do they
We
go
might be grieving
first
after.
come, first serve, or largest ticket first? Because then you can be.
I think they should by size largest first, but I don't know exactly how. it's
Should have gone alphabetical order with your last name being Bart.
Or Washington.
No, so we'll see what transpires. Kara and I have talked this before, so wish us luck. At the form, we're gonna do basically repeat everything that's in our form that we sent in, as far as our argument. And then the town and village assessor will give her opinion, and then the panel will render their.
Yeah,
Not at that meeting.
not at that meeting, no, in a few weeks.
Have they gotten an appraisal of their own as well? Because
They talked about it, but they have not. And they have come up with methodology for assessing the property, but the assessor will not tell me until the day of the meeting.
And may not tell you then. Good luck with that.
It feels a little unfair. It'd be nice to know the methodology and be able to discuss it, but apparently it doesn't work that way.
So the difficulty, if I can, one of the difficulties will be likely that there isn't a comparable property in taxing district that you're in. And as soon as they refer to a property comparable, which is in a different taxing zone, you've got a different valuation because of the tax differential. And now the assessors are accepting that understanding because there's a big taxing difference between different towns. And you can't use a Bolton Landing versus a Fort Ann property.
Right, and to magnify your point, our assessor, or appraisal person had difficulty finding comparables. So I had to look high and low, and you're right, it's nothing within tax jurisdiction. Matter of fact, I don't think there's anything within Washington County. So,
Might not be in the region.
yes, yeah, it was New York statewide, as far as the comparables. But we're doing our homework and we'll just see where it goes.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
And it might even come out in our favor, either way.
Now, they're gonna wanna extrapolate from a smaller typically.
We'll give it the college try, but not necessarily optimistic. Okay, only other thing to mention, we talked about this with the executive committee, FYI, this has already been approved by the executive committee. But when we talked about the skid steer and the verbal quotes we got, Ali went to actually order the machine, we learned that there were all sorts of other costs, insurance, delivery, fill up, and so we had to re-quote it. The same company was the lowest bid at $5,085, so the executive committee approved that at the last executive committee meeting, just an FYI. And that's it for me, unless there are any questions.
Let me go back to the field real quick for some of our newer members. Is that the same field that is the mound that we've been talking about for a while? For the newer members, there's a mound. If you go visit the site near the railroad tracks, if we were able to get rid of that field, it's about an acre, I believe, of flat land right there next to the rail that could be useful for something. So that was why we were attempting to try to get rid of the fill as part of a project, which then opens up a little bit more land for possible building.
I gotta tell you that nobody to date that I know of has done a proper investigation of that mound as far as what type of fill is there.
Yeah.
I will say that Keller hardly scratched the surface there, to be honest with you. Now, if you're gonna go in there and determine, and Ben, you know a little bit about this, if you're gonna go in there and determine whether that fill is suitable or not, either do borings or you do test pits. You take a backhoe, you dig down, you analyze what's there. So my point is, it may be suitable for someone to use there, or maybe not, but that'll be determined further down the road.
Yeah, just for clarification, it was not imported fill, it was fill that was scraped
Yes.
off when the site was constructed, so
Exactly.
it's a local farmland, so it was the first couple of feet that was scraped off when the site was built. And it was cheaper to just leave it there on site rather than haul it away, so it's been sitting there for many years.
Those kids come back and shove this stuff.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Good luck.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I know we've already approved the renting of the equipment. But I've noticed, because I've been looking at equipment like that, buying it and then selling it, whether you buy used and sell it a year later, you're not gonna lose as much as we're gonna rent. When you oftentimes, but we don't wanna be in that business of owning and then reselling. But
Yeah, we also,
Or repair.
permit rules,
Or repairing because we have inexperienced.
I thought we had a pretty good operator,
I don't know that.
no, we have no staff that can repair stuff.
but you have a good operator.
Yeah.
We have an operator, but you can't repair it, he's not qualified.
Okay.
We also have the procurement rules, so we'd have to go out, get all the bids to buy it, and then the sale process will have.
Then you have to sell
You
by
have to
auction
sell
and,
by-
and when you sell by auction, it's, who knows what you're gonna get, so.
Right. Any other questions? Can outside our airport industrial park? All right, moving on to ongoing business. Exit 19 lodging closing update. You want that one, Karen?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this closed, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. So they have closed on their project and they are moving forward, so. All good there.
Great. Any questions from the team on that one as we wrap up that note for the team?
That's Town Place Suites.
What's the name of it?
Town Place Suites.
By Marriott.
That's what they call
They have so many sectors.
it? Yeah, that's one I just haven't heard of.
All right, Arts RFP update, Chuck.
So, thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
We are very pleased to report that on Thursday, we received 6 very good proposals for our creative economy study. Good problem to have. We have our first advisory committee meeting tomorrow to start the evaluation process. Our goal is to identify 2 firms to bring in for interviews and to then be prepared for recommending the winning firm at the next board meeting. But really pleased with the proposals.
Are there firms from Warren and Washington County?
Excuse me?
Are the
Yes.
firms from Warren and Washington?
We have Warren, with people doing projects in Washington. We also have some firm from Saratoga. We have Washington DC. We have London. We have, so we have a variety of these firms that really specialize in this space. Very encouraging. More to come. Sorry.
Yeah, you should have a good panel interviewing. That should be good.
We'll see how the advisory committee meeting goes tomorrow. They have evaluation sheets and people will be signed up at their stores, so we should probably make the process very good. Love to say more, but I really shouldn't. We should.
Right, no, that's
Tomorrow.
true. Well,
All right. Any other questions on the Arts RFP? All right, social media report.
So on this, we just have the monthly report. We won't really go into it. We want to show you we're increasing our sophistication with tracking what we do. On this particular report, we added the daily engagement rate, and when we posted, we looked at the response. So again, we have a long ways to go, but this is the start of a little bit more sophisticated understanding this world and being more successful. We hope that future board meetings will have our social media intern to attend and perhaps even report out if she's comfortable doing so. That's it. Is there any questions?
Right, any more ongoing business? Any additional ongoing business? All right, new business, aviation hospitality expansion project. Kara, take us to the background.
Okay, so they are finishing up their project. Their sales tax exemption expires the end of this month. So they are requesting an extension through the end of July so that they can make sure everything's finished up and all the invoices are in, et cetera. So that is what the request is. No changes to the numbers, just an extension through the end of July.
All right, with that, on page 26 of your read ahead, I will entertain a motion to accept the resolution taking action, extending the project completion date and authorization for sales tax exemption to Aviation Hospitality LLC as agent of the agency for the purpose of constructing and equipping the project facility. John, second. Charlie. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Caplan,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yrsha,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to Paris consideration. Some background, Ally?
Yes, so the Paris reporting is finally completed. Even though the audit was approved by the board at the end of March, I was still waiting on some projects to give me their ST 340 reporting and also their job counts, and I finally have them all. So in your packets, you will see the, oh, no, actually, you know what? I emailed them separately because it was such a large file. So that is the IDA report for Paris, and hopefully you had a chance to look through it all. And here, if you have any questions? Am I making you yawn?
No, I'm just thinking about that.
All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the Paris report for 2026.
Five.
Dan. Second. Brian. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
Kaplan,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney, Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yrsha,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. One question on the Paris report and the ST 340 and the job count for the companies. When should they have those in? When do you feel that is appropriate, giving them enough time for beginning of the year?
So I reached out to them at the beginning of January, and I asked for all the information at the end of February.
Okay, so if any company that is, has not sent their information to you by the end of February, invite them to the March board meeting automatically. Am I allowed
Perfect.
to make that?
Yeah, all of their closing documents have specific timeframes in which they're supposed to respond.
That are set by the state, not even by us, right?
Right, to the state, they have to have it
Yeah.
by a date certain, but in our documents, we make that timeframe a little bit earlier so we can have everything. I can't remember if it's the 15th that we request everything by or the 28th.
February?
Yeah,
I give them till the end of the month because the audit isn't even done at that
Mhm.
point, so, you know,
So
that way we
yeah.
can just have it all done at the same time.
At
That's
February,
always the plan.
February 28th, if they haven't given you the information you need, invite them to the March meeting, get them on the agenda.
So just two additional comments. Ally and I talked about sending the notice out in December next year. And now your idea, we should put that in the notice in December, say, by the way, it's not been.
that's a good
Absolutely.
idea.
Good points. I can direct that? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's run. All right, anything else for Paris? All right, 2025 ST 62 report, Ally, page 29 of your read ahead.
Yes, so if you see the list of sales tax exemptions, these are all the projects that have active, sales tax exemptions. And, in 2025, this is the number that they reported, how much they used in the year 2025. And you'll also see how much they were allotted. So it's a part of my job to make sure that they don't go over that amount. And what this ST 62 form is that you guys will be approving is saying that the projects that we have did not go over their allotted amount for the year 2025. However, we did have, if you'll remember, last month or the month before, the Akron Sports Dome. They did go over, and they were $1,686 over. They did pay us, and we did. The IDA did pay back the taxation and finance department for that amount. So you'll also see in sections 3 and 4 that we address the fact that we did have to send in an ST 65, which is payback of, which is recapture of the sales tax exemption that went over. And so they did receive it. And this is just reporting that there were no other projects that had that problem. And so I'm looking for approval for Juan to sign it, and then for me to finally get this off my desk.
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the 2025 ST 62 report. Melissa, second. Dan. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Taplin,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers,
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yrsha,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great.
So before we leave this, I just want to mention that WWIDA is on this list and they opened today. And actually, Mr. Campbell visited.
Yes, it was impressive to see. I mean, it's 3 times the size of our highway building at Fort Ann. And they said they had moved 2/3 of their inventory, and I don't think the building was a quarter full. It's a huge boom for the region. I mean, it's right there on the corridor between Saratoga, Lake George, and everything north. I think their next closest one is in Plattsburgh to the north.
I think the one other Clifton Park somewhere.
I think there's one down just south, but then they said their main warehouses where the stuff comes from, the one closest, which kind of surprised me, Londonderry, Vermont. It has to come through Rutland.
See that truck every.
And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I always see their trucks, but I never think of it's coming from their warehouse. So I don't know if Londonderry is where they started or what the deal was, but, and the next closest one is somewhere, there's a new one they're building down in, I think it's in southern Pennsylvania.
I think it
So-
actually started in May.
So Londonderry was maybe the next stop.
As a reminder, it wasn't only retention of 40 jobs, but they're adding 8 jobs, and that's a conservative number. They're probably adding.
Oh, very conservative number. Yeah, there's not enough people there for the amount of space that's there. That's gonna get busy. So it was nice to actually view something that we had a part of that, I mean, we get to see the carriage house. But I mean, there's a lot of them we don't really see again. This was a good way to go see it, and I wanted to see it before tonight's meeting so I could say that, it's live and well.
And where is it from?
If you go out past,
Corinth Road.
yeah, it's just beyond the Hudson Headwaters. So it's, you won't miss it.
Can't miss it.
It's a huge building, yeah. So, and what I didn't realize is they own their own construction company. Greenleaf did their building. So I was asking to see if they ever bid municipal jobs, but I didn't hear that they did or didn't. I didn't have the right tour guide. But I thought it was interesting because it sounds like they do everything from stem to stern. I mean, they do quite a job. And so it's very, very worthwhile, and anybody should go see it. And there's actually a showroom, and it wasn't completed. We actually looked in, didn't go in, but it's gonna have kitchens, baths, and lighting. So actually, you can actually go look to get ideas for your own home and stuff. And that's different than just the wholesale part, which I didn't expect that.
We learned they're not gonna do ribbon cutting. They're bringing in some existing customers of bring them in, but there's not gonna be any public ceremony, which is too bad. It would have been nice to have that public ceremony, but anyways.
Think it's just too busy. The place was packed.
Is that our sign hanging on the fence?
We
What's
do-
that?
Well,
Yeah.
the fence is coming down soon.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
but
it's still
the
there.
fence might be down. Was there a fence around it?
I think the fence was down.
Was it down?
If not, it's coming down.
It's coming down soon.
Cause they had that pond area for any water runoff and everything. They were looking at that. Trying to think, was I looking through fence or was the fence already gone? I can't remember. Yeah, I should have taken pictures.
We reuse the sign,
Oh, yeah, yeah, we'll get it back.
we get it back.
Yeah, it's very durable. And we'll also do a LinkedIn post on this, of course. to
Yeah,
celebrate
it's-
you.
And if they wanna hang it inside the building for a legacy. purpose, we're not-
We don't want it back that bad. Huh? Yeah,
All right.
no, it was just great to see.
Okay, thank you. Any other new business? Bring before this board. All right, moving on, staff report, CEO.
Okay, I'll try to move quickly through April 21st through May 18th activity. On May 21st and 22nd, I attended the Mohawk Valley Brownfield Developer Summit at Herkimer County Community College. I won't go through all the courses I went to, but I will say the keynote speakers, gentleman Steve Wackel, who's an MIT professor who plays in the space. He also does equity capital, venture capital funding for Brownfield. Very interesting person to listen to. And then there's also a Judy Ann Mitchell, who is Deputy Division Director of the EPA Region 2. So we have both a high-level governmental official and a private sector guy. They're very, very informative. And again, there were several different seminars I went to, but I won't bore you with those details. Going on to May 24th, the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board had their Brownfield Coalition meeting. We meet once a month with Wesson and Sampson. They're beginning to inventory sites throughout the 5 counties. So every month you'll hear me report on that. Then on the 30th, I attended SCDC annual meeting at SPAC on the stage, which was very interesting. Mr. Yershaw was there. When you look out from the stage, the audience seating actually looks smaller than when you're in the audience with a sea of people. Anyway, so it's kind of a neat venue. And other people from Warren County were also there. I also met Zach Mans. His father is Bob Mans, who's part of WCC. So it was very good meeting Zach, and Zach's sort of an up and coming guy in family business. Moving on to the 4th of May, the East Street Entrance Road Modification Pre-Construction Meeting with Mr. Holmes and Mr. Bruno was conducted. Then on the 5th, I attended the East End Rising Committee's meeting at City Hall. This is a brownfield project which has received federal funding, and Labella is leading the project. Mayor Palmer was also in. Then on the 14th, we had a regional strategic alliance meeting with Warren County EDC, Washington County Economic Development, Glens Falls Economic Development, Saratoga Economic Development, and ARCC. And it was a good roundtable discussion about things going on in our region, including national grid issues and Adirondacks, SUNY Adirondack, and also we let the broader group know about our creative economy project, and they were very thrilled to hear about that. And then also on the 14th, I attended the Greenwich Chamber of Commerce annual dinner, including with ARCC, who was there now that the 2 chambers are working closely together. There was also 10 specific project meetings I attended. I'm not going to go into those details. And as far as engagements year to date, we're at 24, 8 in manufacturing distribution, 2 in tourism and recreation, 1 in hotel and resort, 2 in mixed, 8 in housing, 1 in medical, and 2 in other. Of those 24, 5 are potential 2026 applications, 5 are potential 2027 applications. No applications for 2008 anticipated at this time. 10 are unknown, and 4 will probably not be applicants. And as far as the pipeline list, every month things drop off and things drop on. We are currently at 22. 6 are mixed use, 6 are housing, 2 are hotel and resort, 8 are manufacturing distribution. Of those 22 projects, 4 the application is underway. We have 7 that will be possible applicants, and we have 11 who are simply exploring at this time. And we have had at least 10 that have dropped off last year. And that's my report unless there are any questions.
Any questions, Chuck? All right, turn it over to Ally.
All I have is, just remind you, the town and county pilot taxes, we have, we finally received them all in April. And now at the end of this month, I'll be preparing the, village pilot taxes. We only have 3 so far that are just in the village, so that will be a tough pull. But that's all I have.
All right. Any public comments? Yes, sir.
So, our resolution on Friday at the board meeting was, I guess, the easiest way is called a change order on the bridge. And you'll be getting, the IDA will be getting a bill. It was under 7,000, it's over 6,000. I can't remember the exact number. Remember, it was 100,000 was what you gave Washington County at the time. And we would either give back or, you know, they would be reconciled one way or the other. And well, everything in the bridge is over budget. I mean, they're going up all the time, so, yeah, we had to change that, so you get billed your increment, which is, like I said, it's somewhere.
Subtracting the interest that the county's made on the $100,000 since 2023.
I don't think that's in the contract, is the thing. Yeah, no, I, don't worry, I asked about it at one point, but
Okay.
I think I was told to shut up.
We should have a meeting with the county. Will you help us set that up with the right folks?
Well, I don't know if it, because you had the contract, the bill might just get sent. I don't know how that works.
Right.
Like,
Well,
but
the
he can
contract
meet
was very
with,
vague.
yeah,
And
so
so
we can meet with anybody.
We can meet just to
everybody.
make sure that we have a pretty good understanding of what they're trying to invoice us and
Well, the resolution has it.
Yeah.
Very well written, so you can see it.
for the resolution on Friday.
Yes,
Yeah, I've been trying to look for those. I heard it. I
Yeah.
saw it, heard it. Saw
okay.
that was an entertaining meeting.
I can
I missed
email
that.
you that because I must have it in the packet, my emails, I can
Yeah.
just forward
Yeah.
it to you.
Please do.
Yep,
Was
you
entertaining.
might get the whole packet if I can't.
You thought so?
I thought so,
Yeah.
yeah. Good Friday, listening.
Oh,
Watching the YouTube.
yeah,
They had a couple folks not during
The unsponsored speakers.
unsponsored
Yeah,
speakers that
that's
just
a
picked
nice
up and started speaking. There's been-
Crashers.
Yeah.
back to blue and we couldn't even follow the rules of the board.
All right, before we get too off track. Sounds good. We will meet with the bridge. We'll look at the invoice when it comes in and then just get a better understanding for the board and for those that just joined us, we did deposit $100,000 to the county back in 2023, July, I believe it was. And so there's, we have a project agreement as well, with the county, and we just want to make sure that we're keeping, the finances straight with that. So. Good. Alrighty. Any other comments? Good. All right. Ally's gonna take us into executive session for, personnel issues. Kara, sorry. And then, we will be coming back, so we will turn back on YouTube because we do have a CDC meeting that we're gonna do real quick for the Paris. So if I can keep you guys for another 15 minutes and then we will get out of here. And I promise next month's meeting will probably be 75 plus pages as well. So.
So we're going in to discuss employment history, salary.
Incident point 47.
Mhm.
So with that, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session. Dan, second. Mark, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.